We are now over halfway through this Brave New World season in Marvel Snap, which means you've got about a week and a half to make it to Infinite. So I thought it would be a good time to share with you what decks took me to Infinite this season, what decks I found helpful, some tips I have about playing them. I also just want to talk about deck building, and particularly deck building with the mindset of climbing the ladder, some tips about climbing the ladder and snapping, and then we'll get into gameplay for one of the decks that I have been waiting to make a video about. It's one of my favorite decks that I play. I play it very consistently. It performs consistently, and I've been wanting to release some gameplay about it, and now I have the chance. If you are interested in my thoughts about the film of this season, the Captain America Brave New World movie, I have come back from a 1.5 year hiatus from my movie review podcast and is now live on my podcast, The Basement Binge, which you can also find on YouTube. It's linked in the pinned comment if you're interested. But let's talk about the decks that took me to Infinite, and then I want to talk about deck building and the mindset of snapping and climbing the ladder and all of those things. So I'm going to give you 5 decks that really helped me on the ladder in particular, and I'll show them all to you. So the first deck that I want to talk about, this is probably deck number 5 that helped me climb. We're going from top to bottom, is this Kitty Pryde deck. I've already made a video about it. It's the play this deck with your new Elsa Bloodstone variant that was released on Christmas Day, so you can go back and I'll talk about the deck more, in addition to giving you some card swaps, because there's not enough time for all that in one video. However, this deck consistently surprises me and my opponent. I think people just don't pay attention as much as they should. But when you're curving cards outright and when you're getting the cards you need, as an example, if you've got Kitty Pryde in Shuri's Lab, and then you've got Hulkbuster and all of those things going off, you just snap immediately. Nonetheless, even without that, if you've got a turn 7 and you're curving out your cards appropriately, you're getting Kitty Pryde played multiple times and maybe getting hit up by Agony or getting procced by Nico or getting procced by Elsa Bloodstone or Galacta or whatever, getting merged with Hulkbuster, whatever it may be. And you're playing that, and then on turn 6, you play that Kitty, you get her procced up one more time, you make a copy of that Kitty, and so now you have 2 kitties, and it's not abnormal for that kitty to get up to 11, 12, 13, even 14 power. And now you have 2 of them. And then you also have a Black Panther. And on turn 7, you are going to play a Black Panther you're going to play it in a location that will allow it to get the Galacta buff and the Elsa Bloodstone buff, which will take it up to 10 power and then double itself. So you'll play a 20 power Black Panther with 2 kitties that are 12 or 13 power. That is just so much power hitting the board that your opponent can't really respond. It is a phenomenal deck that continually surprises me. So yeah, it's a surprising deck. You could easily take out Black Panther for Iron Man. I actually had Iron Man in here originally, but I just found like Black Panther was a little bit more fun. But yeah, it's a really good deck, surprising deck. Obviously, if you're not getting Kitty, you're not getting copied Kitty, you're not getting the Elsa Bloodstone or Galacta procs, and things are going poorly, which always happens with any deck. Things go poorly. Then you're going to retreat and get out of there. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, about smart snapping and that type of thing, but this was a deck that I felt really comfortable snapping, and continually did well for me. It helped me last season and helped me this season. Every time I come back to it, I'm like, wow, yeah, this deck is strong, and it performs really well. Another thing you can do, just as a quick side note, I think I talked about this in this video, depending on what Nico's spell is, you can play Nico if she doubles herself after her next card and have her procced by Galacta. Obviously, that's huge. But you can so you play Nico and then merge Hulkbuster with Nico. So that's like the next card that's played, and then she'll double herself. She'll become a 10 power card, and then you copy that with Frigga. That's also good. So that is the deck number 5. Deck number 4 is also a deck that I made a video about for Sam Wilson. This is the Sam Wilson Captain America ongoing Living Tribunal deck that was made dramatically more consistent by the hot location that allowed you to draw 2 cards. That made everything so much better, way more consistent. That would have been true with any deck, but with a Tribunal deck, it just gave you the power that you needed to get things out crazy. It is now dramatically less consistent, feels a little bit more like a Mr. Negative deck, where when the combo happens, it's just pretty much unbeatable. Luna Snow into Sarah into Onslaught with Ravonna on the board is just crazy power. It's just nuts. It's a lot of fun to play, and it works really, really well. However, it's very inconsistent when you don't get those play lines, and a Magic probably makes more sense than a Luna Snow, or even maybe than a Mr. Fantastic. Probably would make more sense to do a Magic to get a little bit more consistency with turn 7. Nonetheless, really, really fun deck that is the best version of Living Tribunal that I played. That day when it had the hot location, I probably climbed 10 ranks alone that day because it just was so much power that was made consistent by the hot location. Again, there's already a video on that, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Deck number 3 is one that I actually was originally going to make a video about. This is the deck that I made up day 1 for Sam Wilson Captain America, and it has done... I come back to it, and it continually surprises me. Sam Wilson Captain America is a phenomenal card. I don't know what people were thinking before the Season Pass came out. It's a phenomenal card. And this is a really fun deck. Spectrum is truly an underrated card. Probably not a card that's going to be good for Sanctum Sanctorum or Sanctum Showdown because the power comes late in the game and you need the power there all the time. You need it on demand, not a turn 6 finisher. Except I think Sam Wilson's going to be great in that game mode. Nonetheless, this deck just really, really surprises me with the power that it puts out. If you're just getting things curved out better, you got your Howard into Colossus, or your Howard into Captain America, into Mr. Fantastic, into Miss Marvel, into Wong and Ant-Man, into Spectrum. Like, it's just so much power that is really surprising to people. I don't think that they expect this deck to be able to put up more power. I also don't care what people say. Miss Marvel is a phenomenal card. If you play Miss Marvel right, it's great. Obviously, you got problems with Clog and those types of things, but you don't run into it that frequently, and if you do, then don't play Miss Marvel. Play Wong and Spectrum instead, or play Moonstone on Mr. Fantastic. Like, you just adjust, as you should with whatever deck you have. But I particularly love Miss Marvel for the surprise play that this deck allows you to do with the shield in particular and it being able to move when Sam Wilson is on the board. Because I can have Ant-Man and the shield in one location, and so it will not get the power from Miss Marvel. And I don't think that people do that math themselves. They're not calculating it. They just think, oh, Miss Marvel hit the board, and then that's the power. They're not checking, oh, is that location getting the 5 power, is it not? Or I'll leave Colossus or whatever, or Captain America in a location on its own, and there's no second card there. But then on turn 7, I'll move the shield there, and so the shield goes away from Ant-Man or whatever it is, so that there's no double there's no double cost in that location with Ant-Man, and then it goes to the location with a card that's on its own, like Speed or Mobius or whatever it ends up being, and now that location also gets the proc from Miss Marvel, and people just don't expect that 10 power to hit the board between the two locations, and it really surprises people. This deck is fun, and it really surprises me, and I consider putting this deck second because it's been that good. Very, very consistent for me. Very, very high performing. Good snap equity because people don't think about Spectrum coming. Spectrum has just left. Even when I play against Spectrum, in fact, I clearly remember one game where I was playing against a deck that was a large ongoing deck, and I was like, okay, what's going to happen there? What's going to come down on turn 6? Okay, it could be an Iron Man, it could be a Blue Marvel, it could be an Onslaught that doubles the Blue Marvel. Why? I don't remember it is, but I remember doing the math of all the cards that I would expect somebody to play, and I won in every condition, and I snapped, and it was it was an 8-cube game actually. This was seasons ago, but it was impactful enough for me to remember it, and they played Spectrum, and they wiped the floor with me because it was way more power than anything I was anticipating, because people just don't play Spectrum. Obviously, Spectrum is coming back more and more, and this is a fun deck to play. I don't have the deck currently because I'm always running out of deck slots, but someone in my alliance made a different version of this deck. I'll put it up here on the screen so that you can see it, but it has Ravonna and Mystique and Iron Man to go that route, which I found that version to be a little bit more consistent than this, where this one you've got to get cards curving out. If you're not having good curve with this deck, you're just not going to get there with the power, where the Ravonna play allows you to make up that power with Iron Man and Mystique later with the discount from Ravonna. However, I will say I'm not including it, but this is a deck that I made up just because of the Anti-Venom bundle that came out today and getting Anti-Venom for the first time. This one has been very fun. So it's a slight adjustment to what am I searching for? Slight adjustment to the one I just talked about. In fact, that same Alliance member, he's fantastic. He swapped out Speed for Cosmo because he was running into Enchantress a lot and is running this exact deck. And he said it's been super, super fun, which I agree with. Anti-Venom in this type of deck is phenomenal. Really, really enjoying this Spectrum ongoing deck. It genuinely is a powerful archetype that's super simple and you can get pretty early on. Like, take out Speed for Cosmo. Take out Moonstone for Omega Red, believe it or not, and you're just getting a lot of power on the board, especially with Spectrum. So play this deck. It's just being looked over. I really feel like it is. So that is the deck number 3. We'll move on to deck number 2, and I'm going to keep this one short because this is a pretty expensive deck. It's a Wiccan deck. Victoria Hand is a card that I feel like people moved on from way too quickly. I think she's one of the best cards in the game, one of the most powerful archetypes in the game, and people loved her when she came out, and then we've moved on from her. You don't have to play a Wiccan version of her deck. As you can see, I have another version of her deck here. I had an Annoying Hand deck that I talked about in, I don't remember which card Final Moments it was, but I talked about the Annoying Hand deck that played with Viper and Sasquatch and Mockingbird. That deck was amazing. In fact, I always go back to play that. Like, Victoria Hand really is phenomenal, but I have loved the Wiccan version of this deck because it allows me to be a little bit more greedy, and it makes it that much easier to get the cards out. I am playing the risky version without Quicksilver, but that's okay. I like being risky. I don't run Cosmos and armors and those types of things very much. I'll be risky. Anyway, really, really fun deck. And this one I felt really confident in playing. I'm gonna save what I'm thinking about, but I'll come back to when I talk about snapping and deck building and those types of things. But this is a deck that I was really confident in playing, and it allowed me to climb really well because my snapping increased and the amount of cubes I was earning increased because I was confident in the power I could put out with this deck, and it was just a lot of fun to play. Also, without Quicksilver, it doesn't read like a Wiccan deck, which I like. Again, there's a lot of times that I don't hit it. I don't draw one of these cards, and it's a bummer, especially when Wiccan is in my opening hand. That's always disappointing. But it doesn't read like a Wiccan deck without Quicksilver, and so that turn 4 turnaround when I've already snapped is great. So the last deck that you are also going to see the gameplay for here in a minute is a simple discard deck. It's a Dracula APOC discard deck. Yes, it's got a few Series 5 cards with Scorn and MODOK, who's actually coming down to Series 3, so it's going to be free for people, and then Proxima Midnight. But it's also running cards like Wolverine and Dracula and Lady Sif and APOC. Like, there's no Collector, there's no Bullseye, there's no Swarm, there's no Meek. It is just a good discard deck that puts out great power, just phenomenal power, which is really, really fun to play. I've loved this type of archetype. It is my favorite target archetype, despite how much the game hates me and keeps giving me splits like this. Where is it? Like this ridiculous one. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm trying so hard to get this deck all inked, and Dracula is the card that I've been working on, and it's so close. But I keep getting dumb splits. Nonetheless, it's a super great deck to play. It's just consistent. It's not doing anything fancy. I think that in general, we move on from cards that are good and archetypes that are reliable outside of like Destroy, which seems to be around forever, which is fantastic. That's great. Play this deck. You don't need the newest card to make it phenomenal. It's a fantastic deck. I really, really love this deck. Excited to finally have a chance to make gameplay about it because I love playing this deck, and I think it performs extremely well. So play the deck. It got me to Infinite. It's got me to Infinite multiple seasons. When I needed to do the toughest climbing in the 90s, this is the deck that did it very, very consistently, and I had full confidence in reaching Infinite. It wasn't like, oh, am I going to get lucky? I knew it was going to happen because this deck's power is fantastic. If you want to run a slightly different version of this deck, I'm not talking about the decks too much and not getting into this card specifically because I want to talk more about the mindset of building a deck and just climbing. But here's a fun version of it. I used to run it before Bullseye was a thing. I actually played Symbiote Spider-Man, believe it or not. And this was a deck that is just focused on discarding APOCs and Swarm as much as possible. So that turn 6, you just flood the board with Swarm. You actually play them. And so I would play Symbiote Spider-Man into MODOK, or I would, whatever it was. I liked running Symbiote Spider-Man instead of Wong for some reason. I just liked it. It also gave me some versatility if things didn't work out that I could play what is the word I'm searching for? The Symbiote Spider-Man on location and have it hit Blade another time or something. Anyway, but Bullseye is a better version of that because you just play MODOK on 5 and Bullseye right after you MODOK to get the Swarms discarded again. And so at that point in time, especially if you hit a Swarm once before, you've got 4 to 6 Swarms in hand and APOC. and you just flood the board. That's phenomenal. But this one in particular is the one that I did great, very, very consistent climbing with. It's a phenomenal deck. I really encourage you to play it. It performs well. Trust me, play this deck and you will climb. So I'm going to get off the deck screen here, and we're just going to look at these cards and look at these deck slots as I talk about deck building and climbing and the attitude of it. I think the interesting thing about a meta with cards being released weekly is that people are so quickly to move on to the next new thing. Novelty is important, don't get me wrong, but we are obsessed with novelty, and the meta of Marvel Snap is obsessed with novelty. One of the most consistent combos that I lose against all the time, and it frustrates me because it's so simple, is Wong, Black Panther, Arnim Zola. You know how long that's been around? Do you know how many times I've also lost to Wong, White Tiger, Odin? Or even better, just Ironheart on an empty, like there's nothing on the board because they didn't curve out. Play Quicksilver, Domino, Ironheart, Wong, White Tiger, Odin if you really want to. Like that is a winning combo. And yeah, sure, you can get Cosmo, you could get Lady Deathstrike, but you could also not, and you could win. I mean, that deck is so straightforward that it has its weaknesses because you can be shut down pretty quickly. You can be countered very, very quickly, and at high infinite, it's going to read and project extremely well. But what I'm saying, and not even high infinite, high on the ladder, what I'm saying is that you don't need the newest card. You don't need the newest combo, the things that people are obsessing about, the things that people are trying. Oh, this new archetype's been going crazy. Oh, I want Wiccan. Oh, I want Anti-Venom. Whatever it is, Airishim. Whatever archetype it is that you're interested in, whatever card you're going after, I'm sure is phenomenal. And yes, can help you climb. And I also notice like to be missing cards to not be able to climb. That discard deck, as an example, is much harder to get as consistent as it is without a card like MODOK. Nonetheless, it's a very simple APOC discard list. And I'm confident in playing it because I know that it performs well. So you don't sometimes the simple old things work, and you don't need to be focused on moving on from something rather quickly because the old things work. What I will say is that you got to find those few decks that work for you. I like having 3 to 4 decks that I'm really confident in playing, that they have, that I enjoy playing, but also that they're able to put out power if I'm piloting them right and I'm getting the curve right. Every deck is going to have its failing. Every deck is going to have those games where the RNG just isn't on your side. Accept that and move on from the attitude that the game is against you, and just accept it and move on, because the game is not against you. It just happens. But get good at playing the deck and then snap when you're winning. The things that were so true about this Wiccan deck, about the Kitty Pryde deck, and about this Dracula deck is that I knew when I was going to win. By like turn 2 or 3, I knew I was winning and I could snap. I know that because I know the deck. Because I play it enough that I'm getting out of there when I'm at 1 cube, and I'm only sticking around for 8 cubes when I really need it. Yes, you gamble 8 cubes and you lose sometimes. That is also inevitable. But I know the deck well, and I play it well, and I snap when I know I'm going to win, and then I put down the power and I win. And yes, sometimes I snap and then I get Cosmo'd perfectly and they shut down my combo and you got to pivot. But if you know the deck well, you have backup plans for your snap. If you do snap and then get countered in some way. I wish I had like more substance to say, but it's really that simple. I made a whole video about it, the real advice about how to make it to infinite in Marvel Snap. I highly recommend that you watch that instead of me repeating everything here. But just get a simple combo. Play the deck well, right? It doesn't even have to be a combo. Play a good ongoing deck with Spectrum. Play Zoo. Zoo is free cubes. I made a video about that. Play Zoo, whatever it is. Even a simple, play a Patriot deck. And just know when you're going to win. And then just snap when you're winning. And you'll climb. And you can do it. Like, don't get in your head. Keep it simple. Because it's simpler than the pressure we often make it to be. However, if you, which I have had, the moments where you feel like the game is just hating on you. You aren't climbing. You're getting shut down. None of your decks are working. You can't seem to draw the cards you need. The locations are screwing you over. Whatever it is, and the game is not getting fun, then put it down and play something else. It's just a game. You don't have to play it. Please go play something else for your own sanity. And as a final note, you don't need this card back. Like, sure, it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of ugly. Like, This card back is my favorite. I never even got it from Infinite, you know? Like, it was just the card back from the season pass. So it's okay if you don't make it to Infinite. You don't absolutely have to. So pick a simple combo. Pick a good deck, and then get good at playing it and go win. You can do it. I promise that you can. As like one final note, to prove to you what I mean, one of my favorite decks to play, Agatha. It's an Agatha deck, and I give it away by saying I'm playing Agatha, and I still win 4-8 cube games. Simple things work. Good cards work. So play a deck with some good cards, even if you don't have the most meta card. Like, I have had this deck since my very first season playing Marvel Snap. Sure, as I've gotten Proxima Midnight. Proxima Midnight was the last card that I got. I got Scorn before I got Proxima, right? As I got Proxima, I took out whatever card was in here and put a new one in, right? But I've still got Wolverine in here because even the simple cards matter. Anyway, enjoy the gameplay. I'm so excited to like actually be making a gameplay video about this deck. Please watch the games. I think they're fun. I think this deck's phenomenal. But I wanted to really quickly give you some thoughts. So all the deck codes are in the description, and I hope you have some fun on the ladder. Looking forward to Sanctum Showdown when it comes next week. You're having fun in Conquest, wherever you're playing. You know, you can reach Infinite. It's simpler than we often make it to be. But more importantly, if you don't reach Infinite, it's totally okay. You don't have to. Play the game for fun, and play whatever is fun, even if that's losing. Sometimes I love playing ridiculous decks just because they're fun, like this one. Lose a lot with this one, but it's fun. It's fun to win. So it's fun to lose. It's fun to try to win. Anyway, have fun. Enjoy the games. I appreciate every single one of you. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Card to have, actually. Good card. You know, Morbius going down early isn't always great because he's just an obvious Red Guardian target. However, that's okay. I'd rather give them a target for my Red Guardian so that I can play my Dracula in peace. If this is a Surtur deck, I actually want to kind of put out some power here. Do I want to give him that, though? I don't want to give them energy. If this is a Scar Surtur deck, Rocket and Groot is going to be very interesting to play, because it will prevent their 10 powered cards from proccing. It is. I am reborn. So now they've got to deal with this. They have priority. So let's just get some energy out there. Why not? I mean, I could do Hell Cow and just forget the Rocket Raccoon and Groot. Like, don't focus on countering them because I'm only going to do that on turn 5 if they even play into that location. So I actually think that it makes more sense to focus on my win condition instead of focusing on stopping theirs. We're going to have a ton of energy. Closer than I thought. Okay, so Proxima is probably in there. Silver Samurai's in there. What were we, 10? So... Ooh, Silver Samurai. Okay. Oh, no way, we can do both. Obviously, this is huge. We'll do Hellkill now because, you know, like it's the perfect hand to do that because we'll have gotten rid of Rocket and Groot and it's going to hit Scorn or APOC, which allows us to play either one of them. However, actually, I doubt they're going to play a card there. And I actually would prefer the energy to be able to play Scorn and APOC, potentially. However, do I save the Hell Cow for like a Proxima potentially? I think we just go for it, yeah. This is the right move. Well, I'm locked into that location, so that is a bummer. So I gotta get tall there. Quick somehow. Okay, no Cosmo.
You won't need this anymore. Apocalypse.
Okay, yeah, Apoc's huge. Can take us over. Obviously, they can move the shield. Oh, dang it. I was like, oh, MODOK actually would have helped here. If they go 10 here, they go over. If they go 10 here, they go over. Because they're going to lose 5 power. So they'll go down to 20. And I'll be... Yeah, I think this is our best bet because we don't have enough to win this alone. Oh, maybe. We beat them. There we go.
Victory.
Okay. Oof. I guess MODOK's a turn 6 then, so we're hoping for a Dracula. Actually, he's yet to show up in this video. Haven't even drawn Dracula yet. Interesting. Interesting. Colleen's too risky. They probably... I think this deck runs Red Guardian. That's fine. I don't have Dracula in hand yet, so a Morbius shield is not great. Ooh. They've also got priority. Cool variant. Ooh. Wolverine roll center. Go for it. My friend, I know you're targeting my Morbius. Hit it up! Red Guardian. Yep. We'll give him the thumbs up.
Enough said, bub.
However, that does stink with MODOK. He's pretty good. Morbius is fantastic with MODOK. Dang, there's no way we're getting that card for free either. Because they're about to do it right now. Would love a Dracula to show up. We'll play him in the raft. Even if they've already, locked the location out, that's fine. Yeah, as expected. If this is Kitty, that's disappointing, because then it makes it harder to... Never mind, we just have to... That's like... It's nothing to beat. Silver Samurai goes after... Is Hellcow even worth it? Silver Samurai's gonna hit Proxima. I mean, worst case scenario, it hits MODOK and we just play Apoc center. Right? They're locked in, I'm locked in. Yas. Okay. MODOK, of course. What? Oh, from the raft. I can't believe I just blocked their play. No way. I'm the winner. I am the wiener. However, I maybe should have waited on the Hellcow because then I could have just played Blade. However, Adam would have tied us. But I could have been, now, like, I gotta win one of these other two on a hope and a prayer. However, they haven't had any of their other, like, they don't have Havoc down, they don't have Thena down, they haven't had Kitty or Marvel Boy proccing things up. Sage, maybe. Oh, Demons, I forgot about those. And they snuck her out. Good game. Yeah, Hellcow was dumb. Yeah, and then I could have just played Blade right, and I tie. Nothing. Are we going against Hella Discard?
Gotta run, huh?
Yep. Oh, come on, hit something good. Yes. What did it hit for them? Death. Okay, I mean, I'd also hope them. We're kind of in this together. But Silver Samurai also very interesting here. Helps them because they've definitely, like, the new version of Hella runs Silver Samurai, so it would hit something beneficial for them, I would imagine. Like, there's no way that Silver Samurai is going to target Hella. It's going to hit. Ooh, that helps. It's going to hit like a Gore or an Iron Man or something. So, no Silver Samurai. Makes it an easy decision.
I am reborn.
Would love to top deck a Dracula for turn 4. So who's going to win? Regular or Hella discard? Okay, we got a Proxima. I think we just go really tall. Like, we'll have 6 in our hand. Like, why not do something like this? We'll see what we get. Ooh. Let's see. If we do Lady Sif into... Yeah, let's just go Lady Sif into Blade. Into... No. Let's go Blade here. We'll go Scorn here. Actually, let's go Lady Sif into... No, we'll tie them. Lady Sif into Blade. Hell is so unpredictable. I'm taking another Scorn just to give me options. But I really don't know.
Apocalypse.
Ooh. If we had Morbius down, MODOK would be the obvious choice with Proxima. But without, I think... Oh, I can't do both. Oh.
Opponent snapped.
Let's just say they low roll it. They stack left.
Minions to me.
Oh, dang.
Who will the winds bring?
Victory.
No way. Oh, they did low roll. Oh, that couldn't have been better. That was fantastic. Hey, look at that. The second Scorn that I decided to play is literally what we would have tied that location if we wouldn't have played it and we would have lost. That was fun. Interesting. Morbius would love that. I've also still yet to see Dracula. Been playing for, what, 20 minutes? Oh, yeah, that's a perfect draw, though.
I am reborn.
What? Just not even Airshim Loki, just straight up Loki. Haven't seen that ever. I mean, I have seen it, but that's just surprising. Maybe they just got Loki this week. Yeah, probably. Based on their CL, they probably did in the spotlight this week. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. What does Colleen hit? Discard the card on the Silver Samurai. Probably not worth it. Well, we got Morbius down, so maybe it is worth it. Because we also just need, like, location. We need bodies. Yeah, we'll go for it. Why not? Well, they got a MODOK. Proxima's going center. Well, hold on. Proxima goes here. If MODOK goes here, Proxima goes to Mojo World. Because Morbius will get the +2 and go to 10. Which I know, like, MODOK is technically 1 power more, but it gives me the chance if I top deck something to... Oh, yeah, definitely going to be able to play something with APOC. Also, they're absolutely losing that location. This from Loki? Yeah, interesting. Well, not enough to do much of anything. Should I just like fake him out and just go here? That's actually one of my favorite things to do. Just like abandon Mojo World, being like, oh, psych, you thought wrong. Because I don't think they can win left back. And we tied in Mojo World. Oh,
Higher, further, faster, baby.
Rip. I got cooked. How'd they play that many cards? Because this isn't an air. Oh, the energy. Feast, that's how. Wow, they cooked me. That was very close. I was losing no matter what, though. Oh. Well, so far, horrible opening hand. I also, man, sometimes the game just hates me when I'm trying to get good splits. Oh. Is this a bounce deck? Oh, if so, they're locked out. Because, as you can see... No, not a bounce deck. Oh, perfect Nico spell. What are the chances? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. We'll go ladies up there. As you can see, I've been trying to get this... Yeah, that makes things hard. What is this deck? Victoria Hand Joaquin Torres deck? Moon, maybe a Moon Girl bounce deck? Do we Hellcow now to get the discard on APOC? Or do we Silver Samurai? I think we Hellcow now. Because Silver Samurai is just going to hit Wolverine, which MODOK will hit just fine. Anyways, I'm just trying to say, you can see I'm trying to get it inked. I got my MODOK inked, my APOC inked. What the heck? What does it copy? Oh, the Misery twice. Okay, cool. You got more Miseries. Ooh, yeah. Dang. I think we do this so we can get our APOC bigger and play it on the Nexus. Anyway, as I've been saying, I'm trying to get this deck inked. I'm pretty close. I've got Blade is inked, Morbius is inked, Colleen is inked, Lady Sif is inked, Silver Samurai is inked, MODOK is inked, and APOC is inked. So I just need Proxima, Dracula, Wolverine, and Scorn. And Dracula I have like 12 or 13 splits on. And I've got 2 of them that are gold. And the most recent one I got was like a confetti rainbow or red and black swirl split. I'm just kind of disappointed. Like literally an hour before I recorded this. Proxima, go to the Nexus. No. That's right. 20 powered Apox, nothing to sneeze at. I don't know what they're cooking up. Some type of something. They floated energy. She-Hulk coming down, maybe? I'm really confused what this deck is. But yeah, Proxima. Wolverine's pretty close. I got a ton of boosters for him. I just have never upgraded him beyond the one time, or like twice that he was this. Wow, they actually might overpower me. Rocket gets pretty big. I don't understand what the Victoria hand accomplishes. Yeah, look at this. Are you kidding me? That's not even the one I was talking about. Oh, whoops, meant to hit upgrade on that.